We are going over the Algebra Chapter 1 review that comes from Lesson 1.1. And Lesson 1.1 is variables and expressions. So a good way as we go through these is to kind of identify, did you understand those few problems? Do you want the one that I'm working on? Although it's different than the one your teacher has, you want to work on that one? Okay. Let me do a section of recording and then we'll see if you need help with that. So for lesson 1.1, one of the problems I asked was to write an algebraic expression for each verbal expression. The first one is a number increased by 9. Anybody want to give it a try? How would I write that using algebra symbols?
X plus 9.
X plus 9, or I heard somebody say n plus 9. Okay? And that's number 11 if you're following on the review. Number 12, 2/3 of a number d to the third power. So for this one, I want to use the letter d. 2/3 of a number d to the third power. How do you think you would write that?
2 over 3 d. Oh, times d.
2 over 3 times d.
And then 2 the third power.
Okay. Now, I have an issue with this one because I'm not really sure if they want it to be 2/3 of a number d all to the third power. The reason those are different is this would say you take d, you do it to the third power, and then you take 2/3 of that. This would take 2/3 of the letter d, and once you solve that, you would take that to the third power. So I personally have a problem with problem number 12. Number 13. How would I do 5 less than 4 times a number? This is where I want to talk about this for a minute. This is where, and this is why I love my magic boxes. Because the other day when we were doing these problems, when we were doing these problems on, what we're using, quizzes, there were some mistakes. So, 5 less than, is that addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Subtraction. Somebody over there was mouthing subtraction. 5 less than 4 times a number. And the reason I call it magic boxes is I can pull the boxes away. What?
I thought it was -4.
Okay, it's 5 less than 4 times a number. So to help you with that, that's why I use these boxes. I'm going to pull them back. Yeah, no, ask, because this is one that lots of kids mess up on. So ask and get the help, and then somebody might watch the video and they might get the help. What's your question? You think you wrote it wrong and you did it?
No, I don't know if I put a negative or not.
Well, then I might not know if I graded it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not -4, it's 5 less than. If you put the subtraction and addition always second, you'll not mess up that sign. A lot of kids do 5 less than. That's not right. Okay? Bowling. Fantastic Pins Bowling Alley charges $250 for shoe rental plus $325 for each game. Write an expression to represent the cost to rent shoes and bowl G games. So, do you guys, on a side note, do you have to do like close reading procedures in English and language arts? Do you do that? Do you do like close readings? That's where like you read and first they tell you read and underline what you think the key words are. And then, no, maybe it's a 10th grade thing. My son was complaining about it. So anyway, sometimes you want to do that. You want to read through it and then read again and think about what we're actually doing. So if I go bowling, how many times do I have to rent the pair of shoes? Once. That's a one-time fee. That's addition. I have to pay it one time. What does the $325 represent in the problem? Each game. If I play 1 game, it's 325. 2 games, it's 325 times 2. 3 games, it's 325 times 3. That's why the answer for this, written as an expression, is 3.25 times G, times the number of games, plus 250. Does that make some sense? We're going to take a delay again to ask a question out of the studio audience. What are we struggling with back there? Find the solution. So basically they're saying, okay, plug 2 in and solve and see if that's an answer. Plug 4 in and solve. Plug 6 in and solve. At some point you're going to get to an answer here on the left that's not less than or equal to 39, that's greater than 39, and that's where your answers are going to stop. Does that make some sense, or do you want me to do it on the board? Okay. I'm going on now on the review here to lesson 1.2. So if you got the questions right on 1.1, you're like, cool, I kind of know that. If you didn't, then you'd be like, oh, I have some questions there. That's what I want to ask about in class. 1.2 is order of operations, which we're seeing gets a little complicated, like the problems we had earlier when I start throwing variables on there, things like that, right? So, what do I do first here? What do I do first here? Yeah? Well, you could distribute, but you could actually, or you could do the parentheses. 9 minus 3 is 6. What's 2 times 6? 12.
Plus 4. And plus 7.
Is what?
It's 19.
19. Awesome job. Number 21. 8 times 4 minus 6 times 5. What do I do first?
8 times 4 because there's 2 multiplications with the left side, so you go left to right.
Awesome. So 8 times 4 is?
20, yeah.
32. Now I don't subtract 6 yet, correct?
No.
I do the 6 times 5 is what?
30.
And what is 32 minus 30? Okay? Number 22. Oh, is all kinds of fun. It's 2 to the 5th power minus 5. All of that's in parentheses. Then we're going to divide by 9. That's all in brackets. 11.
You don't do the exponent.
So 2 to the 2nd power is to the 5th power. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times. I'm going to write it out because if I try to put it in a calculator. 2 times 2 is
4
times 2 is
8
times 2 is
16
times 2 is
30.
32. So 32 minus 5 divided by 9 all times 11. What's 32 minus 5?
It would be 27.
27. What's 27 divided by 9?
3.
And what's 3 times 11? 33. Did you follow that? I know we're doing it kind of quickly. Some of you are paying attention, some of you are not. Okay? Where it says on the side area for work, you should be writing work. If you are in my class, I want work. For my class, this was the homework. Considering it was the homework for Mr. Currents and Mrs. Oakton, it might end up being homework for Bunn. So if you want to write it down while we're doing it, that's great. If you want to take the chance that he's going to have different work, that's fine also. But you see what I'm saying? Like, he's a day or two behind, right? So you do what you want to do. I do like the fact that you're at least paying attention. Makes me very excited. The next problem, 11 plus 4 to the second power over 5 to the second minus 4 to the second. So we treat the fraction bar,
It's division.
not as division, but it's also a grouping symbol. So we do everything on top and then everything below.
So let's do 11 plus
So 11 plus 16,
divided by 25 minus 16.
awesome. What's 11 plus 16?
27, 27, and then the fraction bar
Right? Did I do that right?
9,
And what's 27 divided by 9?
3.
3. Awesome. Next one. Evaluate the expression if A is equal to 4, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to 9. And the first expression is 5B to the second divided by C. So that means I'm going to erase the letter B. What? I lost my to the second power. And I'm going to put in what value?
You put in a parenthesis with 3 in it. And then
So-
for C, you put parenthesis 9.
Right, sure.
It would be
3 squared is
9.
9 times 5 is
45.
And then divided by 9 would be
okay? My students should have had these done already. Are you getting them correct? Okay. Some of you didn't have it done already and you're working along with us. Oh, wait, let me go back here because I already have this part up. So, the next one was A to the second power plus 2 times B times C. So we're going to substitute. What's going in for A?
4.
Ah! Hold on, I wanted that to be a different color. What's going in for B?
parentheses 3.
Parentheses 3. And what's going in for C? What's 4 squared?
4,
What's 2 times 3?
6.
And what's 6 times 9?
56.
Or 54.
It's
54.
54. What's 16 plus 54? 70. And what's 70 divided by 7?
10.
Okay? Next one. Ice cream. Word problem. The cost of 1 scoop sundae is $2.75. So 1 scoop is $2.75, and 2 scoops is $4.25. I can go for some ice cream. Write and evaluate an expression to find the total cost of 3 1 scoop sundaes, right? And 2 scoop sundaes. Do you understand how I wrote that up? 3 1 scoop sundaes, correct?
Correct. Which
We're
would be
gonna-
25.
Which is how much?
8.25.
Thank you very much. And 2 scoop sundaes, which is how much? So I think the top final answer is $16.75.
Yep.
So that's lesson 1-1 and 1-2.